Thank you, Dr. Frank. Good morning. ADAO would like to welcome and thank all of the registrants, speakers, and honorees and volunteers today. We have folks from England, Germany, Canada, and the United States all participating in this conference. This conference doesn't take place by just us as volunteers. You do need funding, and we would like to thank, straight out of the gate, Dr. Arthur Frank at Drexel and Lori Kazan-Allen at IBIS, and our financial sponsors, which are FDI. We did have two other corporate sponsors, Glenmead and Shearing Plow, but FDI has come back with us for a second year, and we thank you for your funding and your support. We also implemented something new this year. We asked some law firms, and I know some of you may scratch your heads. We initiated a client tribute program, allowing firms to place tributes or acknowledgments to their clients. And we opened a separate ADAO educational account. And why I go through this sort of business side of it is ADAO represents the voice of the victims, and we pride ourselves in being very independent. And this year we have collectively raised money to offset professional videotaping that you see today. And Sue Ann Taylor's team will videotape and make this a legacy conference. It will be aired via the web for a year, which we're really excited about. But we would like to thank the firms, Kazan, McLean, Abrams, Fernandez, Lyons, and Ferrasi, Simmons and Cooper in the audience today, Cooney and Conway, Barron and Budd, and Motley Rice. So our sincere thanks. We have legendary speakers today that are going to share 400 years of cumulative knowledge. Each speaker not only donated their time, but they covered their travel expenses. So we're honored to include speakers from the World Health Organization, the Environmental Protection Agency, and unfortunately, due to a pressing commitment, our colleague from the International Labor Organization is unable to come at the last minute, sends his regrets, and will be joining us next year, 2008, in Michigan. ADAO was founded by victims and their families in 2004. Doug Larkin, my friend and co-founder, is in the audience today, and we met just 3 years ago. We both knew that asbestos knew no regional boundaries and the dust did not discriminate. Doug's father-in-law and my husband, Alan, both elected to have radical EPPs removing their lungs to extend their lives. Tragically, Bill lost his fight 6 months after surgery, and my husband in May of 2006. ADAO tries to unite, our goal is to unite the victims and families and blend that with labor, political leaders, and the scientists and the doctors. We have found that that combination gives us the mix and the catalyst to hopefully deliver a message to Congress and cause public policy to change. Our committee chairs, this is a huge project, and we would really like to acknowledge the committee chairs this morning. We don't want to wait to the end of the day, and there are state representatives and all kinds of volunteers in the audience. So I would like to just generally acknowledge them, and then you can put a face to their name that you've been hearing. These chairs unselfishly give their time and support, and they also give their own personal donations. There are 4 volunteers in yellow who are unable to be here: Margie Ernberg, Marsha Poe Thomas, Herman Hamilton, and Ellen, our webmaster. But in the audience today, Bonnie Diana is there, Sharry Erzinger, Doug Larkin, Lee, Kate Diana. We've got a great crew, and we thank you very much. Can't take this message to Washington without the science to back the facts. And that's what Dr. Frank and Dr. Lemon do for us, along with other doctors as well. But they are the co-chairs of our Science Advisory Board, and we do thank Dr. Frank and Dr. Lemon today. Jordan is going to join us in the afternoon, and he is a man of great distinction. He is quietly humble for those of you who came last night. He's gifted, and he's kind beyond belief. And we're very blessed to have Jordan be our national spokesperson. Well, you wonder what's going to happen after we get tired of fighting our battle with the dust. We'd like to introduce to you today the next generation of volunteers that are going to keep this torch lit until this issue is gone. So I know the youth don't like to stand, but we will ask you to. So would Emily, Kate, Sarah, Caitlin, and Jason please stand so we can thank you. ADAO is pleased the United States Senate continues to acknowledge the severity of asbestos problem in the United States and around the world by unanimously passing the third Asbestos Awareness Day resolution. Came in Thursday night. We strongly encourage the Senate to build on this momentous act and promptly enact a ban on asbestos. The only way we can hope to eliminate this insidious epidemic of preventable diseases is by banning asbestos. This Asbestos Awareness Week offers a beacon of hope for hundreds and thousands of current and future victims. So for this audience, this auditorium may seem big and seem like empty seats, but there's a Sudanese doctor that couldn't get a visa in time. There's doctors that couldn't find funding to come today. So this conference, although it may seem intimate, it will have a legacy effect with information. So we thank you for coming. We launched last year a awareness online campaign, which was terrific. It's a 60-second commercial, and featuring Paul Zingenbaum in the audience. And I think if you take a second and read that quote, you know, it's very powerful, and that's how Paul speaks to Congress, powerfully. So we're going to take a second and hit to that.
I think of myself as a survivor, and I don't think I'll be a victim until I give up fighting.
At least 10,000 people a year lose their fight with asbestos-related diseases. Paul may not look sick, but he has a deadly asbestos-caused cancer.
It's a very difficult diagnosis. Doctors generally don't see this in their lifetimes, and I went through a lengthy process of diagnosis to figure out what was happening.
Asbestos has still not been banned, and millions of homes and buildings hide this silent killer. More than 3,000 products in use today contain it. You may have been exposed.
There's not a night that I don't think about it or wake up at night, and that means it never goes away.
The Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization is the voice of the victims. Learn more about preventing exposure, detecting disease, helping victims, and protecting your family. Help end asbestos-related diseases today.
Tomorrow we have a remembrance service, and it's in unity, hope, and remembrance. We invite all of you here. If you haven't registered, there's limited seating available, but we would like you to come. We're going to do a candlelight vigil, and what's important about tomorrow is we're going to take a second, and people all around the world will also be lighting candles at 10:30, and the victims and their families are really embrace the idea of having a collective remembrance. There's an amazing volunteer. Her name is Margie Ernberg from Nevada. And what Margie does is she and Dr. Black probably knows Margie because she's a pretty powerful young lady. Her father died of mesothelioma. Margie maintains a website online. It's free, and victims' families send their tributes, photographs, and tributes online so that it becomes a visual reminder. What we seem to have with asbestos-related diseases and the deaths that are caused is nobody seems to care. People come and they go. It's this one right here. And until you see those faces, you don't get the whole impact. Margie started just about 18 months ago with 4 photographs. And I think this slide speaks well for itself. Of course, Libby, Montana, sadly, has a catastrophic effect from W.R. Grace, but it's not just W.R. Grace. There are hotspots around the nation in the U.S., and Lori Kazan-Allen's in the audience in the U.K. We have a doctor from Germany. This isn't an isolated issue in the United States. It's an epidemic that's out of control, and Asia's horrific. So for those of you who may have a tribute that you'd like to submit to Margie, I invite you to go to our website or just take notice that that is available. So with that being said, since we are short on time, I'm going to wrap this up. But thank you all for your support and your patience, and we look forward to a great day.